Hi, I'm Hazel. It's almost Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up with a brand new vlog, and this week brought the Lunar Festival back. So that is up until February the 11th, and there are 7 new toys. So if you are the toy collecting kind of person, make sure that you make some time to take an alt or 2 or 5 around to the different elders to get your coins. You'll need 150 coins if you're just looking for the new stuff, and if you're me and you've been slacking for a few years, you're gonna need more than that. The nice thing about that is that if you do those elder quests on a max level character, you'll get like 10 gold each, and if you do them on a not max level character, you'll get a little bit of experience. So what I've been doing is I've been taking alts that are not 120 but like over 70 so that they have fast flying for the old world, and then just taking them around to help farm the coins, because you only need like 25 coins for the new dragon head and tail, you need 30 for the Hearthstone toy, and then just like 10 for the dragon middles. So it's not that many coins per character. It's pretty good. This week is also week 2 of the Battle of Dazar'Alor, which means that the Mythic Race has started and the first wing of Elefar is available. I have been watching teeny tiny bits of the Mythic Race, but more so just like getting updates when they come out on Twitter. So as of this morning when I'm recording this, there are 6 guilds that are 8 of 9, so like working on Jaina, and it's just, I know this isn't new to this tier, but this is just wild that you can just watch the Mythic Race on Twitch. I love that, and I'm really glad it's doing really well. As far as us and our decidedly non-mythic guild, we finished our normal clear. So we are 9 of 9 normal, we are now 3 of 9 heroic, we're working on opulence, and it's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. I would really like to get a 3rd piece of 5-ring gear, but shoulders just don't want to happen for me, maybe next week. And this is, I think, my favorite raid that I've seen since, like, I mean, Oldir was good, but Oldir was very dark. A kind of silly amount of my opinion of any raid or zone is based on how light it is. Places that are just like Nomergon was a pretty good pet dungeon, maybe a few too many trash fights, but a pretty good pet dungeon, but it was so dark down there that I didn't want to be there. And you know, most of Dazar'Alor is nice and bright, so as long as it's sunny, I'm happy, apparently. In other news this week, they brought out a brand new shop mount. Hogrus is now available on the shop. He is a pig that flies. This is basically to celebrate the Chinese New Year and the Year of the Pig, just like the Shuzhen dog mount was to celebrate the Year of the Dog last year. And it's the same deal where in China, I believe they get the mount with a subscription commitment package, kind of like the Dreadwick was for us. Over here, it's just available on the shop as a regular shop mount. I think this may be the most polarized I have seen the community on a shop mount since, like, maybe the first one. It's hard to say, just because on one hand, there's a lot of people that are not happy about a new shop mount, especially so quickly after the Snow Fox thing, especially when they're already mad about other stuff. But on the other hand, it's a flying pig, and it's amazing. I think it's definitely valid to not like the concept of shop mounts, especially in a game that already has a purchase price and a subscription fee. Obviously, it doesn't bother me that much because I have a ton of shop mounts and I quite like them. I think this one's definitely having a worse time of it in the press than other shop mounts, just because people were already upset about other things. Other things that happened this week, and this is not news in the slightest, but I got my hair did. I am purple, and then from the back there's like some pink in there, and then there's like rainbow bits in the side that like, they're called baby lights. I don't really understand, but they're cute when you find them. It's not like I hated my hair when I did it myself before, but this is definitely a whole new world. And because there's so many colors in it, it's different every time you get like a new angle on it or like different lighting on it, which is kind of fun. I will link the Instagram of the artist that did my hair in the description if you want to check out her other work, or if you are anywhere near Portland and you want magical hair, I can strongly recommend her. Questions from this week. Test Rat has a couple of questions. First up, where did you get the Murloc onesie and where can I get it? That was a fan gift. It was from the Blizzard Gear store. They don't carry the green one anymore, I don't think, but they do have a blue one. They also asked, if World of Warcraft became a VR game, would you play it? If VR MMOs happen like Sword Art Online style in my lifetime, they are going to ruin my life because I have no self-control and it sounds incredibly, incredibly fun. I am curious to know though if there will be, like, obviously VR is improving, I hope. Maybe people gave up on it. I haven't been reading the news, but assuming VR is improving, it'll be interesting if a full-scale MMO gets done by a company that can do MMOs like Blizzard, just because doing a full MMO is incredibly expensive, and I imagine way more so in VR, and they're not exactly like the hippest, freshest gaming genre anymore, so it's hard to know that you're going to get that investment back. So while I'm sure that VR games are going somewhere really cool, I'll be really interested to see if we actually get like a proper VR MMO, because that would just be wild. And then the third question is, what is your opinion on how BFA is doing content-wise? So So I can only speak for myself, but personally, I think it's great. I have not had this much to do in game and like being excited to do it since early Legion probably. I am thrilled with the raid. I like doing my island expeditions every week. I'm actually invested in the Warfront cycle, not because I like super enjoy Warfronts, although they're fine, but because I super enjoy getting 7th Legion service medals. I'm like 650. I'm really close to my Priestess of Moonsaber, so that's been fun. I've been enjoying the invasions. I'm starting to level more of my ults a little bit. I'm really excited to dig into the new PvP season, and then from the sounds of it, once 8.2 kind of comes around, there's going to be like an insane amount of additional stuff packed in that patch too. So I think it's great. I think it's an amazing time to be playing WoW. Obviously there are still issues, but the big one, which in my opinion is Azerite, is the one that I was most upset about through early BFA. In this particular patch with the 5-ring gear, I don't hate it as much. It's still not my favorite thing, and I'll still be very excited to see it go whenever this expansion is over, or in 8.2 with the way they're shifting it to unlock traits in your neck. But because I was farming service medals over the last month or two, I got enough Azerite power while doing that to unlock both rings of any new 5-ring gear I get, and that's kind of most of what you need, so I don't really feel stuck in an Azerite grind right now. It seems to happen while I'm doing other things that I'm excited about, and then having Azerite gear that has those 2 traits on it makes it a little bit less risky that you'll get one that's just absolute garbage. So it's not my favorite thing ever, but I'm having more fun with it than I was. And my other big complaint early on was the lack of Paragon caches at launch, and they obviously fixed that, so I'm happy. Chitty Sushi asks, I've always wondered why it takes so long for the full LFR to unlock. I guess it's content gating, but the full versions of the other modes are available. Only one wing of LFR is open. Never makes sense to me. So I would agree, it doesn't really make sense. I don't think they've ever like sat down and confirmed a answer and a reasoning behind why they do it like that. There's a few theories floating around and none of them are perfect. One of them is that LFR gating is meant to kind of simulate progression. So if you're an LFR only raider, you get that same experience of only being able to do a couple bosses in the first week and then like moving and pushing forward through the raid. Another explanation is that they don't want their cutting edge raiders to feel obligated to mine all of LFR for chances at Titan Forge gear. Also a lot of holes in that theory, but I don't think we have a really good one. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, to find out that that's the way they do it just because they've always done it that way, and like one person the first time thought it would be a good idea. Atozeke asks, I'm a new player to WoW, what add-ons should I use? So I would say that if you are brand new and you have absolutely nothing, start with Bartender and KUI nameplates. And the reason for that is Bartender is going to make it massively easier for you to keybind, which is something that I recommend getting started with very early. It's a lot easier to keybind right away and learn the game with keybinds as opposed to learning it clicking and then having to retrain yourself later. And Bartender also makes it really easy to clean up your bars and add more or less and make them larger and smaller so that you can get a UI where it's easy for you to see things going on. And then the reason that I recommend KUI nameplates is just because they're a lot more visible than the default nameplates in my opinion, and they make it a lot easier to see what kind of debuffs and dots you have on things, which is just a nice thing to have right away. So I say start with those two, fiddle with them until you are happy with how they look, and then very slowly, like one at a time, add more add-ons as you find a need for them. I did a video at the beginning of BFA where I went through my add-ons one by one, showing what they look like and explaining what they do, so you can kind of look through something like that to get an idea for other things that you might want, but no pressure, there's no rush to get too fancy right away, and these days the default WoW UI is good enough that you can play with it just fine. And that's been my week. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you have a question that you would like answered on the vlog, please leave it in the comments of the most recent vlog and include the word question. Let me know what you think and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!